Continuing the grace of God, the law was given that sin might increase. Moreover, the law entered that the offense might abound, but where sin abounded, grace did much more abound. Romans chapter 5, verse 20. The law was given not to improve a person's condition, because if this were its purpose, the law would fail. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the law. The law is holy, righteous, and good. Romans chapter 7, verse 12. However, the law cannot make us holy, righteous, and good. The law was added so that the trespass might increase. The law is not part of the original plan. It was just added. The word added comes from the original Greek word paraserkomai, which literally means added, supervised, replace, added to replace. Therefore, there are things that were added and there are things that were replaced. What was replaced is grace, and what was added is the law. The law was given so that people could see how sinful they were. God gave the law so that people could see how sinful we were in our fallen state separated from Him. The law cannot change us. The law shows our sin. Like a mirror, it shows us the dirt on our faces. The mirror did not put the dirt on our face. Sin came before the law. Even before the law existed, people were already sinning. The law is a mirror so that we can see the dirt on our face, but the mirror cannot remove the dirt from our face. The Apostle Paul writes, "Why then was the law given? It was given alongside the promise to show people their sins." Galatians chapter 3, verse 19. Grace consumes man's weakness. The grace of God swallows up or consumes the weakness of man. The law showed the weakness of man because in his fallen state, he does not want to admit that he is weak, which is why man pretends to be strong. But the truth is, he is weak because apart from the grace of God, we are weak. The Apostle Paul said, "And he said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, inability to perform, so that Christ's power may rest on me. That is why, for Christ's sake, I delight in weaknesses, inability to perform, in insults, in hardships, in persecution, in difficulties, for when I am weak, then I am strong." 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9 to 10. God's grace is sufficient for our weaknesses. His power is our strength. As the Apostle Paul said, "I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses." The word weaknesses here does not refer to sin or moral weaknesses, but to the inability to perform according to the law. This is opposite in the world, because in the world, what people boast in themselves is their ability and strength, which is why in this theme we do not hear about God's grace, for in this way there are the main character, but in God's grace, Christ is the main character. In the fallen state of man, he used the law to make himself the center of attention because of man's hunger for recognition and praise due to his inherent arrogance. The Apostle Paul said, "So that Christ's strength may rest on me." Notice carefully, Christ's strength, not our strength. It was mentioned again, "I delight in weaknesses." Then he said, "When I am weak, then I am strong." How did we become strong if we were weak? Because God's grace consumed our weakness and His strength became our strength, so that Christ's strength may rest on me. Why is the devil so angry about grace? The devil is angry about grace because it devours our weakness and our strength becomes Christ's strength. And because of this, we are not the main character, but Christ. Amen. You will reign as kings in life. Do you know why the devil is angry at the message of grace? Because in the abundance of grace and the gift of righteousness, you will win in this life. In the law, you are a slave to sin, but in grace, you are free. For sin shall not be your master, because you are not under the law, but under grace. Romans chapter 6, verse 14. The Apostle Paul, "For it is because of one man's trespass, death reigned through that one. much more surely will those who receive overflowing grace and the free gift of righteousness reign as kings in life through the one man, Jesus Christ. Romans chapter 5 verse 17. It says surely, this is certain. It didn't say maybe or hopefully. Surely will those who receive overflowing grace, unmerited favor, and the free gift of righteousness, right standing with God by grace, not by works, reign as kings in life. By grace you will reign in this life over sin, sickness, and all the works of the devil. There is nothing that cannot be overcome by the grace of God. In the grace of God, our strength is the very strength of Christ, and we can say along with the Apostle Paul, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians chapter 4 verse 13. The Jews who received the grace of God were urged by Paul and Barnabas to continue in the grace of God. Acts chapter 13 verse 43. There will be persecution because of the grace we have received. The Jews were filled with envy and talked abusively against what Paul was saying. These are the enemies of the grace. But in spite of that, continue in the grace of God. Amen. To God be the glory. God bless you.